Hare Krishna. Okay, so by special request, I'm supposed to do a class on guru-tattva. First of all, let's try to understand what the word guru means. The word itself just means significant, important, primary, heavy, big, and the word can be applied to so many different things. You can even apply it to grammar. The syllables in grammar that are guru are long ones like a and e, and the syllables that are laghu are the short ones like and eh. It doesn't have to mean a kind of a person even, it can mean just anything that's significant or heavy or bigger. But if you apply it to a person, if you apply the word guru to a person, then it means the person who is important, the person who is significant, the person who has a lot of weight. You could just refer to any important person as guru, guruji. But usually you apply it to somebody who is important. I mean, if somebody is big and important and significant, then that means that you can learn from them and you can get something from them. So the idea that guru is some sort of a teacher is pretty deep in the meaning of the word guru. You know, it's pretty primary that the word guru means teacher. So there's all kinds of gurus because there's all kinds of teachers. There's dance gurus, there's music gurus, archery gurus, cooking gurus, grammar gurus, Sanskrit gurus. Just because you say guru, and even if you mean teacher, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's got to be Krishna-bhakti, you know? There's all sorts of gurus. So guru just means heavy, significant, important. And if you apply it to a person, it means an important person, and that usually means a teacher, and so therefore there's all kinds of different gurus for all kinds of different subjects. But obviously today we want to talk about Bhakti-guru, the Krishna-bhakti guru, and the tattva, or the reality of what that guru is. You know, if it's your dance guru, it means the person that you can get dance skill from. If it's your music guru, it means the person who you can get guitar skill from. If it's your bhakti guru, it means the person who you can get bhakti from because they have it. Now, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the first chapter, or the first part, Krishnadas Kaviraj gives a lot of time, really, to discussing Guru Tattva. And there's this verse, the 45th pada, the 45th verse of the first chapter of Adi Lila. Krishnadas Kaviraj says in Bengali, Guru Krishna Rupa Hana, śāstric pramane, Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karena Bhakta Gane. Guru Krishna Rupa Hana śāstric pramane. Shastra says that Guru is another form of Krishna. Guru Krishna Rupa. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karena Bhakta Gane. What form of Krishna is Guru? In the form Guru Rupe, in the form of Guru, Krishna Kripa Karena. Krishna gives his Kripa, his mercy, to Bhakta Gana, to the bhaktas, to the devotees. You see, so what is Guru? Guru is the most important person because he's the person, or she's the person from whom you're going to get Krishna Bhakti. And how is it possible? It's because Guru is a form of Krishna. It's Krishna endeavoring to rescue us. When there's jīvas who want to turn towards Krishna, then Krishna comes to them in the form of Guru. Because we can't see God right now, we can't interact with him directly because our senses are so externally focused. So therefore, God comes into the external world and comes towards us, and that's what Guru is. Here's a statement from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Uddhava says, Acharya Chaitavapusha Swagatim Vyanakti. Krishna becomes the Acharya and the Chaita. He becomes the Acharya externally and the Supersoul internally. Swagatim Vyanakti. To help us get to Krishna, to help us turn towards Krishna. And Krishnadas Kaviraj even quotes a verse from the Bhagavad Gītā 10:10, which kind of blew my mind, to explain what Guru is. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. For people who want to turn towards Krishna, he gives them, right? You know this verse, Dadami Buddhi Yogam. He gives them the intelligence by which they can come to him. That's Guru. Guru is the way, the vehicle through which Krishna delivers intellect, that enlightenment that can waken us up and help us turn towards him. So guru-tattva is a little bit confusing because it's Krishna, right? But it's Krishna's expanded energy, his kripa-shakti, working through channels that can reach us in our conditioned state. So it is, Guru is Krishna, but Guru is Krishna working through some external entity. Krishnadas Kaviraj himself expresses this sort of confusing nature when he says, Yadyapi amar guru chaitanyera dasa tatapi janiye omi tanhara prakasha. I know that my guru is a servant of Chaitanya, but I also know that he's a manifestation of Chaitanya. So it's a little confusing. Which one is he? Is he a person like us? Or is Guru some kind of an incarnation of Krishna? Yes, to both. He's a form of Krishna which is working through people and objects and things in the external world. And that's why in the morning in the ISKCON temples we sing Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's song, Shakshad Dharitena Samasta Shastre Uktas Tata Bhavyateva Sadbhi Kintu Prabhurya Priyo Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charan Aravindam. He's Hari, Sakshat. He's definitely Hari. All the Shastra says, Samasta Shastra. And all the sadhus say, Uktas Tata Bhavyateva Sadbhi Kintu, but the truth is, Prabhurya Priya, he is not exactly Krishna either. He's somebody who's dear to Krishna. But it's not too confusing. It's Krishna, it's his Kripa Shakti working through people and things that are in our world that we can immediately relate to. So that's what Bhakti-guru is, right? It's the energy of Krishna flowing through some channel, which is within our grasp, the channel that's within our grasp. The energy is Kripa, Krishna-bhakti. That's the energy that's flowing, and the person who's carrying it is the channel. It can be one person, it can be many people. And the flow can be at different amperages. The flow of power can be at different volumes. You know, there's the Brahmana, I think it's in the 11th canto, who talks about 20-something gurus that he has. Like birds and bees and snakes and all sorts of things. So these kind of gurus, they also can inspire one to turn to Krishna. But they might not be a big, powerful channel. You know, some people are carrying a lot of Krishna-bhakti. And some people are carrying less Krishna-bhakti. But anyone who's carrying Krishna-bhakti acts as a guru to inspire others to get Krishna-bhakti. So the bigger the quantity of your pure Krishna-bhakti, the more powerful you can act the more powerful you can be as a guru. And the same energy can flow through many channels, and in fact it will. The same energy flows through many channels, but there's always one channel that's loudest. Usually, there's one channel that's the loudest, that's primary for you. But it doesn't mean that there's not many channels through which Krishna is reaching to you to give you kripa, to give you mercy, to give you the ability to get bhakti. That's why when we say Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Gurun is in plural, Shri Gurun. Or the very first verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the very first verse is Vande Gurun Nisha Bhaktang. Gurun is plural. Obeisances to the gurus. So there's no doubt that a guru is not a single thing. It's not limited to a single entity. But guru are all the channels through which Krishna extends his mercy to us. That doesn't mean that all the channels are of equal volume. There may be some channels that are really speaking to you clearly and loudly, and they become like your primary guru. Or some people, they may have equal volume amongst many different channels. Okay, so now I want to talk about the guru-disciple relationship. What should be the relationship between the guru and the disciple? The Bhagavad Gītā explains it, and the Bhagavatam explains it. Bhagavad Gītā says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. This is the guru-disciple relationship. The guru-disciple relationship is that the guru enlightens the disciple and the disciple receives the enlightenment. That's the guru-disciple relationship. You know, the relationship between a husband and wife is that the husband gives the seed and the wife develops the baby. The relationship between the guru and disciple is that the guru gives the mercy and the disciple receives it and develops it. The guru has to have something to give, and the disciple has to have the capacity to develop it. Like if the husband is fertile and the wife is not fertile, they're not going to be a child. If the wife is fertile and the husband's not fertile, there's not going to be a child. There has to be both. Both have to be fertile. So in the guru-disciple relationship, the guru has to be carrying Krishna-bhakti, and the disciple has to be able to take it, to receive it, and keep it, and develop it. If one of these elements is missing, the cookie doesn't get baked. So how does the disciple, what is the disciple's part of the equation? The disciple's part of the equation is seva. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena seva, by service. What service? By cutting wood? Or disciples also traditionally go out and they collect rice. They go from door to door and they collect rice. And they bring it back to the Gurukula. And the Guru Mata cooks it. So, you know, this is one kind of service. And yes, the guru-disciple relationship, it doesn't involve that kind of service, practical service. You want your guru to teach you and help you, but your guru needs to live too. So you got to bring him some wood, you got to bring him some rice. But that's not the main type of service that Gītā is talking about here. The main kind of service is pranipat and pariprashnena. Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. The seva, the service, should be pariprashna, or questions, with pranipat, with a humble attitude, with an inquisitive attitude. So, pranipat literally means that you should be willing to go close. You should be willing to sit close to the guru and listen to what he has to say. You should be willing to sit there and listen and learn. The good disciple should be willing to sit down and listen. That's pranipat. That's what it means. Humble. You pay obeisances. You pay respect. Respectful. You want to go because you think this person is significant. This person is a guru. This person is important. This person is big. This person is heavy. This person has weight. Let me go near this person and try to get something from this person. You sit near the guru and learn. How do you learn? Pariprashna. Prashna means questions. And pari, you know, like parikrama. You walk all around the place. Parikrama. Pari means all around. Perimeter. In English we say perimeter. Pari means around. Pariprashna. You got to ask a question, right? From this way. You ask a question and ask it from this way too. And ask it from this way. And ask it from this way. Until you understand the subject from all angles. So the questions are not being asked like in a condescending way. But the questions are asked in an ascending way. The questions are asked in the mood that you have what I need. I really need to understand it. I need to ask you a question from this angle, that angle, that angle, that angle, until I understand what you got. The Bhagavatam gives the same message. Tasmad gurum prapadyate jigyasu shreya uttamam. Prapadyate is the same thing as the Bhagavad Gītā is saying with pranipat. You should go close to the guru. You should go surrender to the guru. You should be humble. And jigyasu. Jigyasu is the same as the Bhagavad Gītā says pariprashna. You have to ask questions. You have to be curious, and you have to express that curiosity by asking questions. And what kind of questions? The type of questions are quite important, because there's a couple of serious misconceptions about guru in the West. First is the misconception that the guru is a top-level management. The questions for the guru are supposed to be about Shreya Uttama. Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Not Preya and not just Shreya. Not short-term things and not long-term things either, but the supreme, ultimate, long-term good. Our questions are supposed to be about Bhakti Yoga, which we constantly have a misconception that that's Karma Yoga. things like who we marry and how we live our daily life are super important to Bhakti Yoga. That's Karma Yoga mostly. It's Karma Mishra Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga revolves around hearing and chanting, and which anybody can do, no matter what job they work, no matter who they're married to, no matter where they live. So the questions for the Guru in Bhakti Yoga are supposed to mainly be about Krishna and how to properly understand Krishna and your relationship to Krishna. So he's not just like a top-level manager. The Guru in Krishna Bhakti, it's not a person that you go to find out what you should do with your money or something, how you should invest. So another misconception about the Guru is that the Guru gives and we just receive, that we're not active. But these verses from the Bhagavatam and the Gītā disprove that. Pranipatena pariprashanena sevaya. We have to be active. The disciple has to be active, has to actively inquire from the Guru. It's not that the Guru just gives you Krishna Bhakti. That's meaningless. Like, how can you think that somebody can give you the ability to love Krishna? How can, right? How can you think that? That's no understanding of what love is. Love is your feeling. Nobody else can put their feeling in your heart and then all of a sudden you somehow have it. You have to get it. You have to get it from Guru. Guru has such a feeling, and by seeing it, you can understand it and awaken it in yourself. Without Guru, you can't awaken it in yourself. You won't see it. You won't know what it looks like, feels like, tastes like, sounds like. But still, even with Guru, you don't just sit there and say, please hit me on the head with a peacock feather, and then I can get Krishna Prema. You have to struggle, you have to endeavor, you have to ask questions, you have to apply the answers. We have to be able to receive the mercy without dropping it. So that's why there's gurus who are very, very powerful, who have unsuccessful disciples. Look at Prabhupada. Prabhupada had a lot of disciples that are very unsuccessful in Krishna Bhakti. Is it because Prabhupada was not a completely empowered, pure devotee? No, it's because it goes two ways. The disciple also has to be fertile. The disciple is also an active part of this equation. And then you can also have gurus that are not that significantly advanced, who can have extremely elevated disciples. Because it's a two-way street. It's how well do you receive and how well does the Guru give. And the more important part is how well you receive. And another important misconception about Guru is that you shouldn't ask questions. That you should, especially you shouldn't ask like difficult questions. Trying to learn something without asking sharp questions about it is like trying to eat something without chewing it. You won't be able to digest it. Okay, so those are three misconceptions. Guru is not top-level management. Quality of the Guru is not the only important thing. The quality of the disciple is important. And we have to be questioning, inquisitive. We have to ask questions. Okay, now I just want to say also that there's different types of gurus, even in one field. Even in the field of Bhakti Yoga, there's different types of gurus. So there's mainly three types of gurus. There's inspirations, and then there's instructors, and there's also a lineage guru. So the inspirations, usually we call them pradarshak gurus, or Vartma pradarshak gurus, or Vartman gurus. There's like the things that like got you interested in Krishna consciousness in the first place. The people that got you interested in Krishna, they're not necessarily the ones that taught you how to do bhajan or taught you anything about Sambandha philosophy or anything like that, but they're the inspirations for you to start. That's one kind of guru. So that doesn't always even have to be a person carrying a lot of bhakti. Like there's one story of a guy who was sitting someplace, and a sweeper came and said something like, "Come on, your time's up, you got to move." And then all of a sudden he said, "Oh my God, I got to go to Vrindavan and dedicate myself to Krishna." So that sweeper was like the inspirational guru. So there's inspiration gurus, and then there's also lineage gurus. Those are called the Shiksha Gurus, the ones that perform an actual ceremony that formally accept you into a certain family of practitioners. So that's like this symbolic ceremonial guru, the Shiksha Guru. the one who performs the actual ceremony that makes you a disciple, officially. And then the third type of guru are the instructing gurus, the people who give you instructions, the people who give you advice, the people that give you guidance. Those are the Shiksha Gurus. It's not that one person can't be all three. One person could be all three. One person could be two. You know, it's all very flexible. 3 people could be 3, 6 people could be 3. There can be in any different varieties. But it's obvious from the Gītā and the Bhagavatam's definition of guru that which of these 3 is most important is the Shiksha Guru. Because the Gītā is saying, pariprashnena, you have to ask questions to Guru. And the Bhagavatam is saying, jigyasu, you have to ask questions. It's not just talking about Guru as somebody that gave you an initial inspiration, and it's not just talking about Guru as somebody who formally accepts you. It's talking about a Guru in terms of somebody who answers your questions. And that's the Shiksha Guru. So the Shiksha Guru is the most important Guru, which is also quite contrary to the way most of us are used to thinking of it. We usually think that the Diksha Guru is the most important. Okay, so those are 3 types of Guru with their relative importance. The last thing to talk about is the qualification of the Guru. So the qualification of the disciple is, he has enough humility to recognize that the Guru has something important that I need to get. And so he comes close to the Guru, does seva, and asks a lot of questions. Sharp questions, good questions. The main activity of the disciple is to ask questions. So the main qualification of the Guru is that he has to be qualified to answer questions. And there's 2 important parts to answering a question. 1, the answer has to be accurate. And 2, the person that you're giving the answer to has to be able to understand it and relate to it. So that's why the Gītā describes the qualification of the Guru as tattva darshana. This is a person who has seen reality. And so they can describe upadekshantite, jnanam, so they can give you knowledge of reality. The Bhagavatam says, shabde parecha nishnatam. The qualification of the Guru is that Shabda, the scripture, the Shastra, he knows the Shastra. The Guru knows the Shastra. The Shastra is the source of knowledge. And Nishnatam, he can med it out appropriately for the person at that particular time, place, and circumstance. He can explain it in a way that the person can understand, in the language that the person can understand, and using examples that the person can understand, answering the specific questions that the person has. So Guru needs 2 qualifications. He has to know the answers to questions, and he has to be able to communicate those answers to the individual. One person may have a different level of qualification as a Guru, depending on who the prospective disciple is. There may be a person who knows the Shastra very well, but doesn't speak English. For me as a disciple, he's not a highly qualified person, because he wouldn't be able to explain things to me in a way that I would understand. That's why in the Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami explains about what kind of Vaishnav we should try to associate with. It's sajatiya. There's 3 qualifications. He should be advanced, and the Vaishnav should also be kind towards us, and sajatiya, from a similar background, so that we have something in common, so that we can connect and understand one another. So the Guru has to know the Shastra well and be able to explain it. And, believe it or not, that's what Uttama Adhikari means. The deal with Uttama Adhikari and how it gets thrown around in most arguments is that it gets confused with the term Uttama Bhagavat. And sometimes it can legitimately be confused, because Adhikari is a generic word. Adhikari means one who has a qualification. Adhikari, somebody who's able to do something, one who has a qualification. And Uttama also is a generic term, just means best, highest. So Uttama Adhikari just means highest qualification. So that might also mean Uttama Bhagavat. But here in this particular thing about Guru, Uttama Adhikari is not to be confused with Uttama Bhagavat. Uttama Adhikari is defined in the Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, in the first section, second wave, in the text 17 through 19. Śāstric-yuktau cha nipuna, sarvata dridha nishchaya, praudha shraddho dikariya sa bhaktav uttamo mata. The one who's the Uttama Adhikari is the devotee who has Shastra Yukta, has learned all the Shastra. And Nipuna is expert in explaining it to people. That's an Uttama Adhikari, somebody who's learned Shastra and is good at explaining it. And they have a certain kind of faith. The faith of an Uttamakari is sarvata dridha nishchaya prodha shraddho. Their faith in the truth that they've realized from the Shastra is very, very mature and withstands anything. It defeats anything. Their ability to answer questions is so complete that it can meet any challenge. So that's Uttamadhikari. Basically, what it boils down to is the best kind of guru is a person who can answer any question that you have on the relevant subject with authority, accuracy, and in a way that you can understand. That's Uttamadhikari. Then the Madhyamadhikari is Yas Shastrahi Svani Puna Shraddhavan Satu Madhyama. The Madhyama is the person that also has a lot of faith in the conclusions of the Shastra, but only understands them himself and isn't really able to explain it to others or answer doubts or questions about it. And then the lowest kind of qualification for spreading Krishna bhakti. See, that's what Guru does. Guru spreads Krishna consciousness. Guru has Krishna consciousness and therefore can spread it. Then the qualification for spreading it really well is that you really have it clear and you can share it. That's Uttama Adhikari. The middle Adhikari is that you have some yourself, but you're not so good at sharing it or explaining it. And the lowest Adhikari is that Yo bhavet komala shraddha sakanishto nigadyate. You don't really have that much knowledge, and you also don't have that much faith. So all three are qualified to be Shiksha Gurus, but Uttama Adhikari is obviously the best because whatever question you ask, they can answer. All right, let's see if we can wrap it all up. The guru, the word means significant, important. And it's the person that you can get something from, the person who has something important. And in bhakti, it means the person who has bhakti. And who is this guru? How is he carrying bhakti? Why is he carrying bhakti in this world? Because that's how Krishna reaches out to us. Krishna reaches out to people in this world through these entities called guru. He sends his mercy into the world through guru. That's what guru means, the person who's carrying Krishna's mercy. The key thing about the guru is Krishna's mercy, and then the channel that it comes through is incidental. It's like a jewel inside a treasure chest. The treasure chest is incidental. The treasure inside is essential. So similarly with guru, the way the guru looks, whether it's a man, a woman, a brahmana or not, an Indian or not, old or young, human or not, is incidental. The key thing is whether or not there's Krishna bhakti inside, which can be given to you. In the guru-disciple relationship, the guru has to be able to answer questions about bhakti and how to practice it, and about Krishna and what Krishna is. So he has to understand all the Shastra and he has to be able to explain them. And in the guru-disciple relationship, the disciple has to be ready and eager to ask all sorts of questions about that subject, about bhakti and about Krishna, until the disciple understands it from all angles. Okay, that sums it up. How about we do questions on Thursday?